Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Martians and aliens. We're not speciesists on this channel. Everybody's welcome. My name's Alan, and welcome to Mars, the second Genesis. Well, today, guys, we've got some really good anomalies for you to get your teeth into. And they were captured by the Perseverance rover on Sol 145. And they were captured by the pair of Z mastcams. As you can see by the panorama that's going on behind me, I am on the surface of Mars, and it's bloody freezing. And you know what? That's why I've got a t-shirt on. So at the back of me, you'll see the panorama, a few bits and pieces of the panorama that found the anomalies, and there's quite a few of them, so there'll be quite a few episodes here and there. But we've got 8 really good anomalies for you, and we'll just get stuck in, shall we? Okay, guys, for our first anomaly is this here, which you can clearly see is a block, and it has some carvings on it. I'll just zoom in and give you a better view of it. So as we can see, we've got some sort of carving here, and there's clear indication of carving up here as well. We've got a rounded off corner, and this is 90 degrees to that. So in my book, that is an anomaly. Can you see it? And we've got this here at the front. Let's look in the shadows. We see it's crossed here, and we've got holes in it. You can clearly see that is a sculpted form. It is not a natural rock. For our next bunch of anomalies, I shall zoom in for you, and we'll just give it the customary pan through. So we'll start with this. That's something carved on this. And if you look at this, that to me looks like a roof. And we've got some stuff at the back. And if you look at this, it's definitely not normal rocks. And this pyramid with its top cut off. Yeah, that's not fooling anybody, NASA. But our main anomaly is this. And we've got this kind of bulge here with a flat side. And we've got a couple of what looks like vents. And I don't think I need to say very much about this one, guys. I think you can clearly see that as a roof. That is windows. You can see this as some sort of structure with sculpting on it. You can see this comes down and it continues up there and comes round. So there is no doubt that is a roof of a structure. And at the back here we have what looks like a sculpted form with some sort of carving or hieroglyph on it. And if we look at this again, we've got this sort of roof shape. So I think these are a bunch of structures, and what we're seeing is the roofs peeking out. They could be buried in the sand, or NASA could have buried them in the sand. That's more likely. We can see some carving or hieroglyphs here, and the same on the side. And for our next series of anomalies, what we'll do, we'll just zoom in here. We'll look at this. Now we can see some sort of carving or hieroglyphs or sculpted bits at the bottom. We can see triangles and such. And we've got some sort of markings on the side which don't look natural. Maybe it's carving or hieroglyphs. Moving down, we have this, which is like a wee pyramid with some carvings or hieroglyphs on it. And this one was quite interesting because this looks like an eye sculpting. Could be pareidolia, probably is pareidolia. We've got, again, this sort of roof shape. And we've got this odd-looking thing, looks like a shark's tooth sticking out. And again, we've got something here, which again looks like a roof. And we've got some markings and architectural detail on it. Now, I'd like to draw your attention to this here in the sand. I'll zoom in a wee bit more and let you see. If you look closely, you can see straight lines. So you can see it goes up here. This line continues in the sand. So this is only part of whatever's there. And the same with this. It seems to continue in the sand. I can't say 100% that this is CGI sand. I believe NASA has put all this sand in to break up these anomalies so people don't see what it really is. If you look at the sand there, that is a perfect line between these two parts. Is it maybe that there's a roof there and they've just applied this sand texture to it? That's more likely. And we've got this up here, and look at the sand yet again. You see this as part of something below the sand. We can clearly see the lines here. Okay guys, this is the same image. What I've done is I've took out the colour and I've really enhanced the sand contrast to let you see the shapes in the sand a wee bit clearer. And again, we've got a wee roof. We'll start with this sculpted form. Now, if anybody watching this looks at this and sees rocks, just plain rocks, I suggest you go and get your eyes tested because these are no normal rocks. Let me show you. You can see all this sculpting or whatever it is. Look round the edge, that's architectural detail. And we've got a straight line here, comes across, and then a straight line down. We've got this, which curves in, and we've got this here. And again, we've got some sort of architectural detail. This is not architectural detail that we would put on a building, obviously, because we're not Martians, but their culture is heavily into this sort of thing, and I've studied it enough to say, well, I believe that's architectural detail. But it's important for you to go and get these images and look at it for yourself. Our main anomaly is this. Anybody that says that is natural is in cuckoo land. That's the roof of a structure, and we've got some sort of ornamentation on it. And we've got this piece here, which is carved or hieroglyphs or something, or architectural detail. And NASA's burnt the details out of this, but we can see it seems to have been split into sections. And we've got these wee bits in the sand. But if you look in the sand, you can clearly see the lines. So these are all part of the one thing. If they hadn't mapped this sand, we would see a full structure there. And I believe it's their attempts to obfuscate or hide what's really in the image. But if you look at the sand and the patterns in the sand, like up here, you can clearly see that all these things are joined. They are not separate pieces. They are not rocks. Whatever happened on Mars was something really bad. And these things were blown to bits and they're lying on the Martian surface for us to see. So again, what I've done is took the colour out and enhanced the contrast so that you can see the outline of what is below the sand. This is pretty neat. What we'll do, start at the bottom, and we've got this. Now, I don't know what it is. It could have been a rock, but if you look at that and then look at the shape of this, I think this is some sort of handhold that you put your hand in to lift it. We've also got this. We get this a lot on the rocks. And we've got some sort of markings on this. So I don't know, could be a rock. This to me looks like the roof of a structure. And look, you can see that's like a roof. We're seeing the insides. And there's some sort of decorative detail. Look across the ridge as well. So it could be a structure. I'm not saying it is, it could be. This here, again, could be a roof, or it could be a block. But the sides, as you can see, these are all 90 degrees to one another. And we've got some sort of carving or architectural detail. And our main anomaly is this. I'll zoom in and I shall just let you see. Look at the centre band, how it abruptly stops here and it curves round and it's got some sort of markings on it. And we have all this, could be architectural detail, and this as well. And again, we've got this triangular piece at the top. So could this be another structure? And we've got this as well. So there's quite a lot going on in this one here. This at the bottom could be a rock, but if you look, it looks quite carved. And we've got a straight edge here. So I'm on the rocks about that one. But yeah, it's down to your own perception. Look at the sand, guys. And before we go any further, I'd like to say that all the images studied in this video will be available from our Google Drive, and we'll put the link in the description with the links for Stereo Photo Maker. That's the program I am using at the moment, and you can zoom in and pan about. It's a really good program. Oh, and it's free. If you want to do your own X3D, there is a tutorial video on the channel. You can go on and have a wee look at that, and you can put together your own X3D images, which I encourage everybody to do. Last but not least, we've got this. There's a lot in this. We'll start at the bottom, shall we? We've got a triangular piece. Could be a roof. Now, if you look closely, you can actually see that does look like a structure, part of it. Again, we've got a triangular piece at the top there. We've got all these bits and pieces here. You just look at the markings on this as well. Our main anomaly is this at the top here. This looks to me like a structure. We've got this and a triangular piece. We've got this thing, whatever it is. We'll get this thing sticking out of the sand. Look here at this piece here. That's hollow there. That's 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 tubular things holding this piece. So I don't think that's a rock. I would actually say I'm pretty sure that's not a rock. And we've got this. When you look at all these pieces and you look at the sand and you study them, right, you can clearly see these are structural. So again, what I've done is took the colour out and enhanced the contrast so that you can see the outline of what is below the sand. This looks weird. Now look at the back here and look at this. I think that's a wall which has been blown upwards a bit, and this is the apex for the roof, and this is one of the walls. You get a wall coming along, and then you've got the back, and then there should be another wall going on the opposite side, and that should be mirrored on that side. But obviously it's been blown to bits. But I think that is a structure. And when you look at each anomaly one at a time, like even that wee bit there, all these apexes. Now I keep saying that NASA have raised the ground plane. And what I mean by that is that sand, I believe NASA has put that in, and they've mapped it to whatever was there, so it would wrap round like a skin. It would wrap round what was already there. That's why we can see in the sand sharp lines where we can see that these things are joined. Now I believe that if that wasn't there, we would be able to see a full line of structures. So they're raising the ground plane to hide what's below it. Although we can't see into the sand, we can see the contours of what is below it. So that's why I suggest you study the sand as well. And you can see these things are all linked. But again, it takes time. And if you're really into this in a big way, I suggest you download Stereo Photo Maker, click the link in the description, go to our Google Drive, download these anomalies and study them. And as you go through, you will see things that maybe I've missed, or you might have a different view of what the things are. And that's fine. I'm not doing this for everybody to agree with me. You know, I'm just taking the images, colour correcting them, doing a wee bit of magic to show the anomalies without dodging and burning, and trying to keep pixel integrity and showing them on my channel just for people to view. And I'm also making them available for you to download, and you can study them for yourself, because a 10-minute, even a 20-minute video, you're not going to see everything. And YouTube does compress the video. So what I'm seeing is a lot sharper and better and a lot more dynamic than what you're seeing on YouTube. So if you download the images, download Stereo Photo Maker, just drag and drop the images into Stereo Photo Maker. You don't need to do anything. You can just click and zoom in and pan about the way I do. They're all set up for you. They're in pairs. Everything's done for you. All you do is just drag it in and you can zoom in and study this stuff for yourselves. So guys, that wraps it up for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.